Hi, hey, and hello there. Obihan here, and welcome back to the Comic High Ground. Alright, yeah, I know I've been kinda, I guess, AWOL for like the past month, but it's been a busy month. I have a Mrs. Obihan now, and I can't be more happy about that. Like, I'm really ecstatic, so there's been a lot of transitioning. I moved into a new house and everything. So a lot of adjustments have been made, but everything is great, and I'm super happy. So I had to kind of take a pause on YouTube for the past month, but I'm back now. And what better way to come back than with Ultimate Spider-Man? I know I've missed about 2 issues. Luckily, those 2 issues were pretty much talking issues. There really wasn't a lot going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of give you all a quick rundown of those previous 2 issues before I go into this new issue. So basically, it was issue 4, I think it was. Peter and Mary Jane went to dinner with Harry and his wife, Gwen Stacy. So we find out that his wife is Gwen Stacy in this universe. And they basically had this long talk. We find out that MJ is like over a PR firm of some sort, and Gwen is like a business owner of some type. And they kind of have this nice chat, and then Gwen and Mary Jane go off to go have this conversation in the bathroom, and then Peter and Harry talk about their alter egos basically, and that Peter hasn't told Mary Jane, and that Harry has told Gwen that Gwen knows that he is basically the Goblin, and that Peter has powers, because I think he told her about Peter's powers as well. And then Peter's kind of hesitant because he's like, well, I was kind of just hoping to be a friendly neighborhood Spidey, I'm not trying to look towards doing big, crime things or whatever, just kind of trying to take care of the neighborhood, petty things. But Harry basically tells him that, because he has these powers, he should be doing more than just street level things. So he gives Peter the great power comes great responsibility speech. And, Uncle Ben is here, right? But when they give him the speech, I guess, it's a different universe. We can try a different take on things. So that's basically how that issue goes. And then the next issue number 5, I believe, is all about Harry and his backstory. So we basically find out how he became the Goblin. To make a long story short, because again, this is a long issue with a lot of talking. We see how Norman Osborn was taken out, and of course it affected Harry. And then Kingpin was pretty much around this time given power over the city. He was the mayor and a bunch of other things. We know he has a lot of power. And he basically strong arms Harry into buying Stark. Is it Industries or Enterprises here? I think it's Stark Industries. But he strong arms Harry into buying Stark Industries, and then Harry goes and basically looks at what he has, and he finds this hidden armory of Tony's, and then is here in this armory where he pretty much makes his Goblin outfit, and then he also finds this information on this computer that basically says that it wasn't Stark that was behind the attacks, but someone else. So that's when Harry goes on this crusade to try to figure out who's behind everything. And the issue pretty much concludes with Harry interrogating the guy that he snatched and took off somewhere when we last saw him with Peter a couple issues ago. So we find out that he took him to some bunker, he interrogated him. And pretty much I'm assuming he got the information he needed, because that leads us to the issue we're at right now. So this issue number 6, this is the one that I think we've all been waiting for, because this is when we have our first meeting with Spider-Man, Goblin, and Kingpin. And it did not disappoint. The issue starts off with Peter walking into the house, and everybody's like, whoa, what happened to you? And we see that his face is kind of beat up. He has a black eye. It looks like he's been in a really rough fight. So May accidentally blurts out that Peter is a superhero, and Mary Jane is like, wait, what? So, of course, and I thought that Peter would kind of try to play it off a little bit, but no, he pretty much just tells them. So we go into a flashback, and we see Spider-Man and Green Goblin standing on top of this building, casing out Kingpin's, office or apartment, whatever it is. And Peter's like, well, I've never really broken the law before. And Harry's like, really? And so they had this quick discussion, and then they mentioned code names because Harry calls Peter Peter while they're on the rooftop. And Peter's like, yo, don't call me that while we're in costume. And Harry's like, well, we don't have any code names. And then Peter's like, well, yours is Green Goblin. And Harry's like, according to who? And so Peter's like, well, I mean, the media, the internet, everybody. And Harry's like, well, that's not what I call myself. And Peter's like, well, what do you want to call yourself? And then Harry kind of hesitates and he's like, actually, I kind of like Green Goblin. So Harry is now officially the Green Goblin in the universe, right? So they decide that now's the time to go and burst into Kingpin's office, and Kingpin's like, oh, look, what a surprise. Only to find out that he was not surprised because he has cameras everywhere, so he has seen them casing his place for like 2 or 3 days. He even says that he would have pretty much invited them in, if you will, if they hadn't come when they did. So Harry, or Green Goblin, I should say, Green Goblin is like, yo, basically it's some ish going on. I want to know what's going on. And Kingpin is kind of, you know Kingpin, he's pretty much unfazed by anything. And Harry mentions that he got information from Kingpin's lackey, and Kingpin's like, well, I mean, that really wasn't my lackey, but if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. So he presses his button, and Peter's spider sense goes off, and then this cage drops down on them. And so basically the fight starts at this point. Kingpin throws like this huge desk or something at Harry and knocks him back. And Spider-Man leaps into attack. He's like, yo, if he didn't have armor on, you would have killed him. And Kingpin's like, yeah, that was the point. So Kingpin pretty much is like strong-arming both of them. And then Harry is like, oh, you know what? You want to play games? Let's play some games. So he throws some bombs at Kingpin. But Kingpin is damn near unfazed because he apparently has made some modifications to his body. So I guess he's more durable. I don't know if he has more strength, but he has some type of plating or something on him. So at this point, Kingpin's like, that would have hurt like a mug if I didn't make these enhancements. So he pretty much goes and starts wailing on Harry, and he's like breaking the armor. And Harry's like, oh God. And Kingpin says something along the lines of, you're alone. And Peter's like, whoa, hey, I'm wearing a bright red and blue suit, and you think he's alone? It's like, can I get some attention? Which is something he probably shouldn't have asked for, because Kingpin turns his attention to Spider-Man and pretty much proceeds to wail on him too. So at this point, Peter's like, a little help. And Harry's like, hold on. So Harry's grand plan now is, well, there's only one thing they can do at this point. Run for your life! So they escape, and now we cut back to the present, and Peter has just told his family everything. So they kind of have all these questions, and he's like, well, look, I will tell you all more tomorrow. So the kids go to bed, and Mary Jane and Peter go to their room, and Peter's like, how mad are you? And Mary Jane's like, I'm really not mad. I just wish you had told me. And she was like, I'm slightly worried, but at the same time, I'm also impressed. So Peter's like, you want to see the suit? And she's like, yeah. So he puts the suit on. She's like, that's the perfect suit for you, Mr. Parker. And she's like, what's your code name? And Peter's like, well, that came up, but I really don't know. So Mary Jane is like, well, I guess I can come up with a name for you, but I'm expensive. And Peter's like, well, I will pay any price because I need your help. And she's like, well, it's obvious. You're Spider-Man. And the comic pretty much closes out with a panel of Peter swinging Mary Jane through the city. And it's an awesome looking panel. I'll probably use it as the thumbnail for the video. But that is the 6th issue of Ultimate Spider-Man. And like I said, it was very good. It was a very, very, very good issue. I'm glad that I kind of waited till now to do this video, because I'm sorry, just the 4th and the 5th issue with all the talking, it was just going to be kind of like a really slow video. It really wasn't going to be too exciting. I mean, there were certain Easter eggs in them, like in the 5th issue, the person who Harry had working for him to pretty much helped build his armor and go through Stark's files was actually Otto Octavius. He looked like Reed Richards, but it was Otto Octavius. So it's like little Easter eggs. We find out a little bit about Jameson and Ben and what they're doing. But again, it's not major stuff. And I really want to get you all the major information and also, the exciting information. And this issue, this 6th issue, was a nice pickup from what had been going on the past 2 months. So hopefully the action continues, especially now that Mary Jane and everybody know Peter and Harry have had their first encounter with Kingpin. And of course, it's not going to stop there. Now, my question is, at what point, or will there be a point, where Peter and Harry are at odds? Because so far we can see that Harry is a bit more extreme than Peter. He's very assertive and aggressive about how he wants to get things done, and Peter is definitely more hesitant. So I wonder if it's going to come down to maybe Kingpin's life or something, and then Spider-Man. We know Spider-Man really is not okay with killing, so maybe Harry is so pissed at that point that he's about to do it, and Peter stops him, and then that causes them to be at odds. Maybe, who knows? Or maybe they won't be at odds. Maybe this universe will be truly unique, and there won't be a Spider-Man Green Goblin, fight, bickering or whatever. They'll just be allies. Who knows? This universe, this series is still just starting, so we'll have to see. But that is all for this particular video. I'm going to cover Black Panther. Don't think I've forgotten about Black Panther, but if there's been talking for the past 2 issues of Spider-Man, there's been talking from the past like 4 issues of Black Panther. And so I've been trying to wait until something majorly significant happens, and it's been kind of rough. I'm not abandoning Black Panther, but I'm just kind of putting it on the back burner until we get some semblance of what's really going on. Because right now Black Panther is just a lot of talking about, like, I guess the which is Black Panther anyway, talking about the political nature of Wakanda and everything. But it's a lot of that and a lot of talk about the gods and everything. And there was a slight mystery in the last issue I read, which I think was issue 3. But again, I'm trying to wait for something, let's say, more exciting to pop up. And then I'll just do like much like with this video, I'll do a quick recap of the past few issues and then concentrate heavily on the newest issue. So yeah, that's the video. I should be more consistent again, guys, so don't worry. Thank you for your patience. Hit that like button if you like what you saw here today. Drop a comment to let me know what you thought about this issue. I gotta say, seeing Mary Jane in Ultimate Spider-Man is so refreshing, because this is Mary Jane, not whatever they got going on in 616. This is Mary Jane Watson, and this is who we've been missing for a while now. And speaking of the 616, by the way, and then I'm gonna close out the video. Speaking of the 616, don't think I've missed the fact that Peter is basically a Spider Green Goblin right now. I'm gonna make a video on that, trust. But hit that subscribe button, please, and remember, we have the high ground. Catch you later.